Much thanks to Matthew Cadman. Matthew, well done. It's the women's all-around final. And we turn it over to Kevin Harlan.
As the sun sets on the gymnastics competition, we've been treated to some great performances and some great stories. Yelena Zamolodchikova brought home the gold in both the vault and the floor exercise. Fellow Russian Svetlana Horkina was perfection on the uneven bars. And little Holly Weiss set the stage for the young American team, winning 2 bronze medals. Tonight, Holly's teammates Carly Patterson and Caitlin White step up to take their turn in the women's all-around. Gymnastics comes to a close tonight, and they've saved the best for last. It's the women's individual all-around, and another full house will again watch some of the best in the world. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Harlan, alongside 3-time Olympian and gold medal winner Dominique Dawes and Olympic gold medalist Bart Connor. Wow, what a lineup tonight.
We're certainly in for a dramatic battle featuring, of course, Svetlana Horkina, the drama queen of gymnastics. Now, her final event will be the vault, where she has struggled in the past. So tonight will come down to the final rotation and the final performance. The most consistent gymnast here is Yelena Zamolodchikova from Russia. She looks strong, and of course, she has to be considered a favorite based on her consistency.
Good, and we've got a couple of strong American entrants as well.
Yes, we do. 2 American juniors will be competing in tonight's all-around competition in front of a packed house. Caitlin White and Carly Patterson will have another opportunity to shine at the Goodwill Games. Earlier in the week, though, in the individual event competition, Carly had trouble on the balance beam and Caitlin had trouble on the vault. This will be a great chance for them to prove to the world that they are among the best in this competition.
Should be a terrific night. And for more, let's send it over to D-Lineup.
Well, Kevin, to add to what Dominique said, the value of this Goodwill Games experience for the 4 American gymnasts selected to participate cannot be overstated. 3 of the 4 of them finished in the top 4 at the recent U.S. Junior Nationals, but none of them are age eligible to compete in the upcoming World Championships. A gymnast must turn 16 during the calendar year to compete at Worlds. Still, these juniors are the future of U.S. gymnastics, and they will be expected to lead the way at the 2004 Olympic Games. So every opportunity like this evening that pits them against senior level competitors cannot be overstated, and actually can be truly advantageous. Kevin?
Dee, thank you very much. Russia so far has won the most medals, 6. As you take a look at the vault, and Sabina Kojakar from Romania will be number 1, with a couple of Americans, Carly Patterson and Caitlin White, in this first rotation. The athletes have had a chance to warm up, and Shilin Zi from China will begin. And you see the 3rd name down there, Svetlana Horkina from Russia. She is the one that Bart was talking about in the Open, who has such a great grasp on this crowd and such great charisma. As we set to go with the vault and the uneven bars to begin things here tonight.
Champion representing Romania, please welcome Sabina Kojakar.
So first up from Romania, Sabina Kojakar. She is the reigning European junior champion on the vault.
Yeah, Sabina's an up-and-coming star for the Romanian team in practices. She's looked clean, consistent, definitely getting the job done. The vault that she's going to be performing, of course, is one of the toughest.
She's 15 years old. She was too young to try out for the 2000 Olympics in Sydney.
And in tonight's all-around competition, the athletes do 2 different vaults. They can be from the same class of vaults, but they have to be different, so a lot of pressure to put 2 good vaults down.
Round-off entry to a 1.5 twist, performed beautifully. She has to be pleased with that performance.
That vault is judged from a 9.7 start value based on its difficulty. Different from the individual event finals, where the athletes do 2 different vaults and they have to be from 2 different classifications altogether. These vaults can be similar, but they have to be different.
The second vault that she will be performing actually will be a Yurchenko, same entry, round-off entry, into a double twist. So she'll add a half turn to this vault.
Her first vault, 9.325.
Gymnasts run 25 meters up to the vaulting table, and this new vaulting table, of course, is the first major international competition utilizing this new vaulting table, and the athletes love it. It's a much larger surface. It's providing better and safer vaulting for all the athletes.
Nice, beautiful double twister there. A little bit of a slight form deduction, about a tenth or so taken off on the landing, but other than that, it was beautiful.
Sabina Kojakar from Romania.
Here's the round-off entry part onto the horse. She stretches back and see the wider surface. More room for air. Beautiful double twist. She has to be pleased with that performance.
Our first competitor on uneven bars represents China and is a former Chinese national champion.
And to the uneven bars, Qilin Zi from China. 16-year-old living in Beijing. She won the all-around at the East Asian Games held earlier this year.
This should be a beautiful routine. The Chinese women are known for being specialists on the uneven parallel bars as well as the balance beam. Nice pike Jaeger there. A release move that the judges are looking for.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Very uncommon mistake. Seemed like her hands just slipped right off the bar.
Judges require the gymnast to transfer from the low bar to the high bar and the high bar back to the low bar, and the bars are so much farther apart these days that it's a long reach even for a young lady like this who's rather tall for a gymnast.
Last night we talked, Dominique, about them putting the rosin, that chalk, on the thing and then squirting the water on.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I'm sure she prepared the bars to her liking, adding either honey or sugar water or, you know, chalk, but it just seemed like she was a little bit off on that flip salto to the low bar.
This move is actually called a pack salto, invented by a young woman. This transition is difficult because she's going to do essentially a somersault, and
right there.
In fact, it looked like she caught with her arms bent, and of course, so much G-forces as you're pulling through the bottom. If your arms are bent, you're going to peel right off.
Kojakar of Romania with a 9.368.
Please welcome Carly Patterson.
And now from the United States, 13-year-old Carly Patterson from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Carly's going for a front entry vault, quite different from the last vaulter. Very nice, clean vault, front handspring, front pike with a half turn.
That has a maximum start value of 9.6.
How much is speed important on that runway before they hit that spring?
Well, it's definitely important to see speed equals height in the sport of gymnastics, and you want to be running down the vault runway with control, but also with power.
We've talked about the width and the depth of this vaulting table. Watch, she barely clears the end of it. A little difficult to see from that particular angle.
Well, that's why I asked the question. It didn't look like she was all that fast running down the runway.
She's tiny. She's about 4 feet 5 inches.
She's not Marion Jones.
No, Marion Jones was here last night. 9.150 on the first vault for Carly Patterson.
This vault is the Yurchenko style, where she goes backward up onto the vaulting table. 9.7 start value for a 1.5 twist.
Beautiful vault. Nice propulsion for a little girl. Beautiful landing, nice, clean, stretched form.
She placed third all around at the 2001 U.S. Junior Championships.
Here's the round-off entry right here. Beautiful placement on the board. Reaches back into that nice wide surface. And that's a blind landing right there, and she does it quite nicely.
And for Qilin Zi of China, 8.425 on the uneven bars.
Representing Australia, Alana Slater.
Crowd loves Alana Slater from Australia, born and raised in Perth. She finished second on the bars at the 2000 World Cup Finals.
Nice Jaeger somersault there into a pack salto.
Same move we saw Chi Lin-Zi fall off on. She caught it nicely, but it appeared that she actually dragged her feet on the floor a little bit.
Yes. And that'll be a slight deduction.
This is an aggressive set.
Beautiful routine. A little bit of problems on the landing. Rather than that, very clean.
Coming off a back injury earlier this year, has held up her training, but she sure looked aggressive here.
Here's her Jaeger, a release move that's required by the judges, into another release move onto the low bar, which she performs quite nicely.
And for Carly Patterson of the U.S. down the vault, 9.225.
And local Brisbane girl, Danielle Kelly.
Now here is Danielle Kelly from Australia, raised in Brisbane.
Danielle was the 2001 Australian Junior Champion. So she's another top junior in this competition.
Oh.
Looks like she was a little deep on the board and she felt like she was off, so she played it safe and decided not to add a twist to that vault at all.
This vault based off of a 9-1 start value. The laid out Yurchenko, she went way onto this vaulting table, pretty far under the back of it.
Let's take a look. A little deep on the board, and that definitely alters your hand placement on the horse.
Perfect example of how this is much safer than had she done this on the old style vaulting horse, she would have totally missed it. Watch how far back she goes. Barely keeps it on the table.
Yeah.
That would have been disastrous under the old style of vaulting. Well, the athletes love this new vaulting table.
So first vault, 8.462 for Danielle Kelly.
Here's another round-off entry vault that she's going to perform.
Should have had a half twist here.
Better placement on the board.
Oh,
Beautiful vault.
wonderful.
You know, us gymnasts are so precise when we're running down the runway. There's a hurdle line marker where we hit our foot exactly so that when we hit the board, we'll land in the middle of the board. And obviously the first time, she must have missed that.
Now, this competitor on uneven bars is the world and two-time Olympic bars champion, representing Russia. Welcome, please, Svetlana Horkina.
Alana Slater of Australia, 9.187. Now from Russia, one of the best in the world, Svetlana Horkina.
This is definitely Svetlana's forte. There's two skills in this routine named after her.
Won the individual gold in the bars in the 94, 98, 2001 Goodwill Games.
This is just spectacular. Low bar work.
There's one Horkina right there. And there's the second Horkina. Spectacular routine. It's going to be hard for the judges to find a deduction in that routine other than the landing.
Another day at the office for her. Look at that face. She knows that's the easy one for her. The other three events are much riskier for her in terms of consistency. This is the one she had to bag early. This one she can do in her sleep.
Ladies and gentlemen, our competition is being broadcast live into the USA tonight, so you can add to that.
Beautiful 1.5 turn right there, which is also known as a Dawes, into a Horkina.
Dawes, there you go. Is there a Harlan?
That's her first
Yeah,
Horkina.
there's one. I'll show it to you later on. The charismatic Svetlana Horkina of Russia. It's the final night of gymnastics. 2001 Goodwill Games in Brisbane. I'm all for that. Svetlana Horkina from Russia on the uneven bars, 9-7-3-7. Danielle Kelly from Australia on the vault, 8-7-0-6. And now from Russia, Yelena Zamolodchikova, 18-year-old from Moscow.
Oh. Beautiful. Yurchenko double full, laid out position. Can't do it much better than that, folks.
Wow. She won the vaults event at the 2001 Goodwill Games and 2000 Olympics. She's on top of her game and on top of the world.
Nice reach back into the horse, nice repulsion, stretched out body position, beautiful vault.
We saw her in training actually the other day, adding another half twist to this, which give it a 10-0 start value. This is a 9-8 start value. Last year it was worth a 9.9 under the old rules.
Right. She was the only gymnast, male or female, to win 2 individual event gold medals at the 2000 Olympics in Sydney. First on the vault, first on the floor exercise.
Yeah, those are definitely her strongest events, leg events, definitely a power tumbler, power vaulter, and she's also consistent on the uneven bars as well as the balance beam.
Now, right there when she was bending over, showing the judge what? Was she showing she was going to do on this next vault?
Yes, you have. There's a number, and you have to tell the judge what vault you're going to perform.
The second vault for Zamolodchikova.
This will be a Sukahara style vault with a double twist. Oh.
A little low on that landing. She had a little bit of problems on it in the touch warm-up, but it still could go quite well.
She really did. She landed on her nose twice in the warm-up session doing this vault. It's a tough one to do, Dominique.
It's a half on onto the horse. A little bit of a slight form deduction there. She cranks it around for a double twister and just makes it.
She's so strong,
Yeah.
She can actually muscle a landing.
I like her selection in leotards. Pretty.
Back to the uneven bars from the Ukraine, Tatiana Yarosh. She turned 17 in a couple days. She placed 8th on the bars at the 2000 World Cup Finals.
She's got pretty good combinations in this routine. Pirouette sequences into Tkachevs. 1.5 twister. Oh. Problem swinging through on that. And right now she's muscling it up to resume the set.
Several little form deductions throughout this exercise. The bent knees and hooked toes right there.
Ran out of a little bit of energy throughout that exercise.
She was a last-minute replacement. Her teammate, Kuvasha, was supposed to compete today, but has 103 fever. So Yarosh got the call to come and compete.
Our next competitor on vault represents the United States.
Zamolodchikova from Russia, 9-5-0, and currently in second place. Next up, Caitlin White from the United States, 14-year-old Texan, born in McKinney and from Allen, Texas.
This is a great opportunity for Caitlin because she had trouble on this event the other day.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful Yurchenko full. Lower start value, but performed quite nicely. Very clean, great landing.
This vault done perfectly is worth a 9.4, and her mechanics are great here.
Nice repulsion, beautiful line.
Best landing of the day so far. Very powerful on the leg events.
Second on the vault at the 2001 U.S. Junior Championships was young Caitlin White.
This is a good opportunity for Caitlin to, you know, kind of get her name, her face, her skills out there, so that when she continues to compete for years to come, the judges will get to know her.
She has had some injury problems. Right elbow, injured rib, knee surgery.
Great job.
Very nice vault.
Higher difficulty in that vault. She added a half twist to it and made it a one and a half twister from a round-off entry. Very nicely performed.
Congratulations from her coach there, Evgeny Marchenko.
Those big blue eyes of hers are about as big as saucers, aren't they?
They were the other day. We were in the airport together. We all flew down here together, and she said, who's going to be in this meet? And I said, Horkina Zamolodchikova. And those eyes went wide open like, oh, aren't they going to retire soon? He was so overwhelmed to know that she was going to be in the Goodwill Games competing against the current best in the sport.
And she's done quite well in training. She hasn't looked like she's been intimidated, scared at all for these Olympic gold medalists in the field. Waving to her mom in the audience and friends and family back home.
Caitlin White on the vault, 9.156. And Tatiana from Ukraine, and she is 7.787.
Olympic Games. Tonight representing Uzbekistan, Oksana Shusovitna.
And now Oksana Shusovitna from Uzbekistan.
Talked with her coach before the competition, Svetlana Kuznetsova, and she said, we do acknowledge that she doesn't have quite the start values that some of the other gymnasts do, but she hopes to just be consistent today.
I'm quite impressed. She's a 26-year-old, has a little child, married, and is still performing at the top of the field in the sport.
Gotta love that.
Got it.
Her first Goodwill Games, 1990. She's been doing this a while, hasn't she?
Beautiful routine.
And a really difficult dismount. Layout double with a full twist in the second somersault. How about a smile there, Oksana? Her young son at home wouldn't mind seeing that. That was a great routine.
Here's her dismount double out with a full out. Nicely performed.
Finished in the top 10 of the Olympic all-around, representing Ukraine. Welcome, please, Olga Rashukina.
And out to the vault once again from the Ukraine, Olga Rashukina. 17. Just under 5 foot tall.
She also finished 7th in the all-around at the 2000 Olympics in Sydney.
Uh-oh.
You know, there is such explosion when they hit that springboard.
Definitely, you come in with full force.
Wow.
Makes a 90-pounder. Probably hit it like a 150-pounder. Nice heel drive into the horse. Very simple vault, but she performs it nicely.
And I say that because as she was walking away from the vault, she looked down like it didn't have the kind of spring she was expecting.
That's important to bring up, Kevin. It's very important. We're very particular, us gymnasts, about how many springs, how it feels. If it's too loose, we add more springs. If it's too tight, we take away a spring. So maybe she didn't like the feel of that springboard just then.
Well, there are 2 boards over there, Bart.
And it looked like she kind of jammed her back when she landed. That's sometimes tough on the lower back and the knees if you land kind of hyperextended.
She has a slightly injured right wrist that she is dealing with on the vault.
Oh, and this is definitely the event that will affect her performance on. That time she was going for a hamstring front pike somersault, which is going to be a tuck, but with straight legs. Unfortunately, coming down to the landing, she punched her knees in, which will be a major deduction.
Olga Rashukina from Ukraine.
There's her coach, Viktor Lutayenka. He coaches the Ukrainian team now after the legendary coach from Ukraine, Oleg Ostapenko, left to take a job in Brazil.
And Oksana Chusovitina from Uzbekistan with an 8.862, currently number 7. And next up is Yong Yoon. A 16-year-old from Beijing, China.
Beautiful toe point, beautiful lines. Pike Jaeger into an overshoot.
She placed 5th all around and 3rd on the bars at the 2000 Olympics.
She's muscling this routine a little bit. But so far, everything's done quite nicely.
You know, a couple of times she's actually hit her heels on the low bar.
Keeps clipping her heels.
The other night she ran out of gas at the end. Let's see if she's got enough juice here.
A lot better than yesterday.
And for Olga Rashukina from the Ukraine, 8.718. We continue with our final night of gymnastics after this.
Center, they're warming up for the second rotation of gymnastics. The women's all-around will be decided tonight.
Thank you, Ernie. I watched that guy today. He was fun to listen to. Here we go now as we continue with our second rotation. And after our first rotation, Russian Svetlana Horkina is at 9.737, number 1. Lochikova is at 9.5 and number 2, and Kojokar from Romania is number 3. And you can see a couple Americans there in the top 6. Carly Patterson and Caitlin White.
Yeah, this has to be a great feeling for both of them. Performing well in the first apparatus, that always gets you going. When you start off good, it's great to continue to finish on in the next 3 events.
We have 4 apparatus tonight. We had 6 last night for the men. And one thing, of course, they do not have, well, 2 things they don't have, the rings for the women and, of course, the pommel horse. But they have the balance beam, which is so fun to watch. And in terms, Dominique, of the toughest things for these people to work on, the uneven bar is number 1, and probably the balance beam right after that. But here's Horkina's performance on the unevens.
Yeah, she's wonderful on the uneven bars, but as for all the athletes here, it depends. Someone may love working on the bars but have trouble on the vault, and vice versa for someone else. So it really depends upon the individual gymnasts themselves.
What did you like? And what didn't you like?
I love the balance beam. I love practicing on the balance beam, and to tell you the truth, I enjoyed all the events equally.
Really?
Same, yeah.
Bart?
Oh, I hated fall. Oh, hated it. And rings wasn't one of my favorites, but look at that look from Horkina. She looks like she's ready to go.
She's intense. But outside of the gym, fun-loving, friendly, wonderful person to be around.
She's 22, and she's already a celebrity in Russia.
See the athletes warming up. It's been a controversial issue here at this championship that the athletes weren't allowed to warm up for the individual event finals. Not a Goodwill Games rule, but a rule that the International Gymnastics Federation passed. recently. It'll be this way at the upcoming World Championships, and the athletes aren't happy about it. In the all-around competition, as well as the team competition, they get this one-touch warm-up, which amounts to 30 seconds per athlete on the equipment here in the arena where they will compete.
Was that her coach on there hanging on that bar?
I think it was. You know, it'll either be your teammate, another athlete from another country, or even your coach is going to help you get the bars to your liking.
Talked about the athletes prepping the bars, putting a little water, a little honey. One of my Olympic teammates, Tim Daggett, used to use Coca-Cola plus 11 packs of sugar. Not 10 or 9, 12. 11 was the right consistency of sugar to get just the right sticky.
Then the problem was he drank it after he performed, right?
He was always pretty wired. That is a good one.
Sometimes a little sip of Coca-Cola before the meet gets you going. It really does.
Yeah.
Oh, you could get an endorsement deal with
That's
that.
Right, I know. But again, you've got to be so careful what you eat and drink, and in terms of cold medicines for these games.
Yes, especially before World or Olympic competitions, they do drug testing, and caffeine is prohibited.
We go to the balance beam now as we begin our second rotation. And from Australia, here is Alana Slater.
Alana's going to be performing a new skill for her. She's going to do a back dive over the beam, do a half turn, and land in a split handstand. She performed it the other day and had a little bit of problems on it, so let's take a look at it and see if she'll hit it today.
She goes for a tough mount here. This is a running front on from the beat board up onto the beam.
And there is a time limit, am I correct?
Yes. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds. At about 1:20, you'll hear a small little ring or a beep to let you know that you have 10 seconds to get off the apparatus. And if you don't, there's a deduction.
Solid start.
She finished 5th on the beam at the 2000 World Cup Finals.
There's her acro combination right there, which is required by the judges. You need to do jumps, you need to do acrobatic moves, turns, balance, and you have 1 minute and 30 to get all that in.
There's that move now, sideways on the beam. Back dive, half turn to a split handstand.
Oh. A lot better than the individual event finals.
Yes.
But a small deduction.
But performing in front of all of her fans here in Australia, not bad.
Not bad at all, especially coming back from that slight back injury that we mentioned earlier. This is going to be good practice for her to get ready for the World Championships coming up in Belgium.
She is very solid so far.
I can see why men don't do this.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you.
That's that Tony we're talking about.
1:20. Double backflip now. Great routine for Alana.
Very nice. 17-year-old Alana Slater from Australia.
You know, balance beam is considered the do-or-die event. It's 4 inches. You're performing in front of thousands of people. So this is the one event. If you're nervous, it'll really show.
That's why I asked if there was one event, maybe they don't look all that full.
She says one of her worst habits is cracking her knuckles. Anybody who has to do the balance beam would crack a lot of knuckles.
And now the uneven bars, and from the United States, Carly Patterson.
She's improvising a little bit right now, and has done that quite well. Nice Tkachev release move.
Dominic, she's 13 years old. Does she, at that age, do you really have an awareness of the pressure and the things going on around you?
You know, I can't speak for her, but I know when I was 13 and I was competing internationally, you're nervous, yes, because you want to perform well, but you don't realize the pressure, you don't realize the media, and you don't realize the impact that you have on fans and people back at home. It's a beautiful routine.
Oh!
Nice routine.
And, you know, she showed a lot of maturity in that routine because, as Dominique mentioned, she had to improvise a couple of those pirouette skills. You could see it on her face. Hey, Coach, I kind of made that one up, but it came out all right. Wow.
Here's coming up to her dismount right here. It's like a half in, half out. Nice landing.
I know her mother's here, but I've got to believe any parent watching a child like that in a competition like this has just got a feeling in your stomach. That's my little baby out there swinging around.
She's pretty cool.
Okay, 2 down to go. All right, yeah.
And on the beam, Alana Slater of Australia, 8.5, 7.5. Now the queen from Russia, Svetlana Horkina, the tallest gymnast at 5'5".
I know, believe it or not, that's tall for the sport of gymnastics.
Great
Beautiful combination right there.
She had problems on the beam, you may recall, in the '98 Goodwill Games.
She's also going to be performing a new trick for her. She'll be coming up a little later in this routine.
Would this be her shakiest event, would you say?
No, I don't think so. I think she's been quite consistent on the balance beam. She's a great all-around competitor. It just really depends on what happens that day.
She's doing a move that she has done a couple of years ago, but very risky in terms of falling off in competition.
And here it goes right here.
Oh! Man, it looked like she had it.
Yeah.
Now to regain your composure and act like nothing's happened. That, to me, is so remarkable in gymnastics.
It's definitely difficult, but when you train about 6 to 8 hours a day, you are definitely going to make some mistakes in practice, and you have to get back up, resume your routine, and continue to perform and get the bonus that you know you can do.
One of the things you got to love about this gymnast is she rarely goes for easy routines. Whether the competition is huge or not, she pulls out all the stuff. It's great.
Dominic, very elegant style, too.
Very elegant style at her 5'5", beautiful dismount. Her 5'5" frame, she works it quite well. You know, some athletes are a little shorter and have a stockier, stronger build, and she's a very elegant, athletic-like body.
She's 22 and she's a grizzled veteran, isn't she? She just has that confidence and that swagger.
Yeah, a little off on that landing there, and remember, it's 4 inches wide, so 1 inch off, you're off the beam.
And for little Carly Patterson on the uneven bars, 8.9, 3.7 for the American. Another Aussie is up. Danielle Kelly from Brisbane.
Danielle actually won this event at the 2001 Australian Junior Championships.
Australia did not have any medals in any Goodwill Games ever until a couple nights ago when Philippe Rizzo won a gold in the high bar for the men.
Oh, too far. Oh, man.
Down hard.
Before that, she was having some beautiful pirouette combinations.
Talked to the head coach of the Australian team, Peggy Liddick, earlier today, and I noticed that Danielle had her shoulder wrapped, and I said, why is her shoulder wrapped? And she said, it's subluxus. And I said, what does that mean? She goes, it comes out of joint.
Yep.
So,
and it will always come out of joint. I mean, they can correct it just to a certain degree, but it will continue to do that.
The bars have to be difficult to work with that injury.
I wonder if that's the bars squeaking or her shoulder.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's too bad. Oops.
I think right now going through her mind is she just wants to get off the apparatus.
Really long routine.
Very long. Oh,
man.
The pressure on this native from Brisbane is just, it's one thing competing in something that's magnified as big as these games are, but then to do it in front of your hometown. You can only imagine.
Definitely. Having a hometown crowd behind you is wonderful, good for one aspect, but then another aspect, you feel the pressure a little bit more, the need to do really well.
Good point. And for Svetlana Horkina, #2 overall, and on the beam, 8.350. Next up from the Ukraine, Tatiana Yarosh.
This could be a highlight today. She is just incredible on this event.
Placed 5th on the beam at the 2000 Olympics.
She's beautiful dance. I admire that about her. She says the Ukrainian team focuses on artistry, not so much on the elements, but on beautiful lines with their arms and her legs and her toe point as well.
Her father works in a mine in Ukraine.
Beautiful switch leap half to a straddle half. She'll rack up some bonus points on that combination.
Strength or style, Dominique? What do they look for?
You know, they want a little bit of both. You know, they want to see a beautiful style, but at the same time, to be able to do those acro moves and these wonderful leap moves that she's performing, you have to have some strength to get off the beam and to flip. So the judges are looking for a nice combination of both.
And even with the new code of points, there's not a swing one way or the other?
You know, actually, they're looking for more combinations. They're looking for more combinations throughout the routine, so there's going to be a lot less dance, but the little dance that you have, you better make it look good.
From Australia, tough go for Danielle Kelly. 7.062 on the uneven bars. Now from Russia, Zamlochikova.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
She goes for a tough mound and she was off, but she managed to save it.
This girl's a fighter.
It's a little sloppy on this event.
But she is the reigning Russian all-around champion.
That was a Jaeger somersault. Hop full. Hop full to Kachev. Nice combination right there.
Oh, slipped her hand a little bit, and it didn't even phase her. She's still going. She could do this with one arm. She's so strong.
Yeah, she's definitely strong. She's keeping this routine going. It's lacking in swing and also in cleanliness. She definitely's got some nice tricks going on.
She kept fighting, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
She
That's what
kept
gymnasts are about.
I'd give an extra point just for that, the fact they didn't give up.
Here's a difficult mount right here. Similar to the vault, round off entry on, round off, back full on to the bar. That alone is just enormous bonus.
Should be a combination of acrobatic elements and dance elements, such as leaps, turns, jumps, and balances.
Tatiana Yarosh from the Ukraine. 8.837 on the balance beam. We are in our final night of gymnastics from the Brisbane Convention and Exhibition Center. Zamlochikova from Russia, 9.075 in the uneven bars. And now Oksana Chusovitina from Uzbekistan. She had a tedious journey to get here. Went from Tashkent, Uzbekistan, to New Delhi to Singapore, and Singapore to Brisbane. Leaving behind her young child and her husband.
Also earlier in the week, she won a silver medal on the vault. Good performance for her.
Last time she was in Australia, of course, for the Olympics, her husband was in the wrestling competition.
That's right.
5th in his weight class. Imagine their son get a good shot at being a good athlete.
I would say so, yeah. Placed 5th at the all-around at the 94 Goodwill Games at Oksana. saw some tape of her from 1990 when she competed in Seattle. She has not changed at all.
No, she looks exactly the same size, same hairstyle even.
That's not necessarily good.
Well, no, she is. I like it.
Well, that's her style.
Oh, she changed her.
Missed the leap jump combination that I know she needed for this routine to score well. Actually, her coach was saying that she was having a little bit of trouble getting prepared and focused at the end of the week. Hope her dismount goes well.
Yep.
Nice double cup somersault.
Oksana Chusovitina from Uzbekistan. They seem to be pretty hot. She's really performing well at 26, isn't she?
She really is. You know, usually gymnasts retire at 16 or 17 as soon as they finish high school, move on to college. But she's 26, looking great and performing wonderfully.
Representing the United States of America, please welcome Caitlin White.
Those riveting blue eyes. Here she is from the United States, Caitlin White.
Nice swinging.
Coach can help here.
Oh,
No.
a little off on the Ginger. That'll be a half a point deduction for the fall off the apparatus.
Now, her coach, Evgeny Marchenko, told me this morning that he knows that his young ladies only have 9.4 start values on the uneven bars, so he was hoping that even though they were going to do a little bit easier in terms of difficulty, that they would be consistent. This is unlucky.
Loose back right there, but she pulls it through quite well. A little bit of early problems in the set, missing that release move, clipping her heel before her dismount, and then a little short landing.
Chusovitina on the balance beam, 8.662. And now from China, Yang Yun.
This is definitely one of her best events. Great leap combinations, enormous flexibility.
It was fun watching her warm up.
Yes, it was. She's always quite consistent on this apparatus.
You notice that her left knee is bandaged there. You may remember a couple of days ago in the individual event finals, she landed and hyperextended that knee. There's a sore ligament on the outside.
The 2000 Olympics, she was receiving acclaim for her elegance.
Ooh. Short on that back dive.
You know, pain is something gymnasts are always used to. Danielle's shoulder, her knee. You know, you just learn to work through the pain and keep going. She's probably practiced that with Matt. So.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. For everybody's sake.
I know. Seems to be running a little short, long on time right now. And yes, she'll be overtime.
Good landing, though.
Very nice landing. A very simple double full dismount, but she performed it with no deductions.
Smile on the face of Yang Yun from China. Caitlin White of America, 7.775 on the uneven bars. From the Ukraine, Olga Rashukina. She was at the 2000 Olympics in Sydney, and there she finished 6th on the uneven bars.
This should definitely be a good routine for her. Looks good in practices. She's having a little bit of difficulties, though. Nice shoulder. Requirement. An easier element by the judges.
Oh.
Just looked like she was lacking a little bit in swing and tight body positions on that. When you fall off the uneven bars, you have about 30 seconds to get back up so you can re-chalk up.
You better hurry up.
I know, yeah.
I've seen them actually ask the athlete to step off the podium if they don't get back up within 30 seconds. Judges are tough.
Beautiful Jaeger to an overshoot.
That's such beautiful form. Always extended legs, beautiful toe point. She's not in her best fitness conditioning coming into this meet.
Oh. That was a double front somersault dismount, line landing, but she was a little slow and sluggish in that performance.
Yang Yoon, 8.787 on the balance beam. From China, Qilin Zi. Oh, God. She was the '99 Chinese national all-around champion.
Here she goes for her acro series. Beautiful back layout somersault. You know, the Chinese women, whenever they do back layouts or back fulls, they always perform at the best that anyone's done in the world. Nice body lines and great landings.
She's 16 and lives in Beijing.
Definitely gained some bonus points on that combination.
An arabesque position is a requirement now, a new requirement for these new rules. You must show a hold position.
That was a 2.5 twist dismount. Very nice routine.
Qilin Zi from China.
And here's a nice angle to look at our acro series right here. Beautiful form. Her legs are together, and that's difficult to do into a back layout somersault.
And Rashukina from the Ukraine, a 7.362 on the uneven bars. The hands of Sabina Kojokar from Romania. The Pontiac American Team Cup, which pitted the U.S. against Romania and China. She was first in the uneven bars.
Beautiful hop full to to a full pirouette, to a Dawes, and to a Tkachev. She definitely racked up some bonus points on that combination.
The Romanians have not been known for being excellent on the uneven bars like the Chinese and the Russian athletes. I believe this will come from a 9.5 start value based on the difficulty. But it is clean with a typical Romanian performance.
'15-year-old Sabina Kojokar from Romania.
Here's right before her dismount.
Gymnast, that completes your rotation.
Oh, actually, this is her hop full combination, which will be beautiful to see from this angle. Nice full pirouette, nice straight arms. Into a 1.5 pirouette right there.
We've completed 2 rotations. 9.375 for Qilenzi of China. We take a break. It's the women's all-around tonight at the 2001 Goodwill Games. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Bart Connor and Dominique Dawes. And after 2 rotations, Elena Zamlochikova from Russia is number 1. Zmina Kokojar is number 2. And Carly Patterson from the United States currently at number 3. And then you can see Caitlin White, number 9.
Please welcome Danielle Kelly.
Our second group on the beam tonight from Australia, Danielle Kelly, coming off a rough go on the uneven bars.
She's had a difficult night. 8.706 on the vault, 7.062 on the bars.
A beautiful start on the balance beam right now. Good acro combination.
She won the balance beam event at the 2001 Australian Junior Championships.
That'll be a questionable combination there because of the pause between the jump into that salto.
Again, this is the young gal from Brisbane.
Problems on that jump sequence. Very quiet right now in the audience, and sometimes, you know, being on the balance beam, you can hear every little sound that's going on.
Very good finish.
Competitor on the floor, representing Russia, will you welcome please Svetlana Hotkina.
Our first look at the floor exercise tonight with Russian Svetlana Hotkina, the 2000 Olympic silver medalist on the floor exercise.
This is actually the routine that she performed at the 2000 Games.
The music is called Pistolero.
Good start with a smile.
She knows how to work it, doesn't she?
She does.
Actually, she's been criticized in the past for not doing power tumbling such as that full-in somersault, so she's definitely proved those critics wrong.
She had a silver on the floor earlier this week here at the Goodwill Games.
Slightly out of bounds.
The flag goes up. You're right, Blake.
That'll be a 10th deduction.
Boy, she showed such good power on that.
watch. She is fun to watch. Svetlana Horkina of Russia.
She has such an attitude. You know, we talked to her about whether she's going to continue to compete for the 2004 Olympics, and she says, I do not like this question.
Here's her first tumbling pass here. This is a full-in tuck somersault. Nice power, nice height. She pulls her whole frame around and lands wonderfully.
I think this may be a silly question here, but she looks to be the only one who has, well, she's exhausted, isn't she?
Minute 30 is actually a long.
Her sleeves go up to her elbows.
Yeah, actually,
everybody else is down to their wrist.
that is true. You know, usually in a competition you're wearing a long sleeve leotard that comes to your wrist, and I used to love pushing my sleeves up like she does right now. I think she got her leotard cut, actually.
Danielle Kelly on the balance beam, 8.437. And back on the balance beam now with Yelena Zamolodchikova from Russia.
Beautiful series right there.
She's the leader coming into third performance.
We're halfway through.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Look how strong she is, that she's muscling. Oh. That'll definitely be a half-point deduction if she touched her feet to the ground.
But now to regain your composure after that.
And all the energy that she burns
Yeah.
up.
Exactly. She looked like she was almost gasping for air there a second.
That was a standing tuck Arabian. Seems to be keeping her composure together right now.
Like on the uneven bar, she tends to be just a little sloppy on this event. Doesn't show the kind of extension like Horkina.
Known for her vaulting and her power on floor mainly.
Ooh, close to the end of the game. My goodness.
That was a scary routine. They never seem phased, though, did they? They have same facial expression, all of them.
Here's her leap combination, and this is where she had a little bit of a problem. Looks like her head came out, her chest came out, grasped the beam a little off. She's trying to muscle it.
Look at that strength.
Yeah. Wow. And that's hard to do.
Yeah, then she says, ah, forget it. Svetlana Horkina from Russia. Currently #1 overall, and on the floor, 8-9. Tatiana Yarosh from the Ukraine. Tied for the gold medal at the floor exercise at the 98 European Junior Championships.
Nice double Arabian. Great way to begin your routine.
We first saw her at the 1998 Junior European Championships. She was the only triple gold medalist there in St. Petersburg, Russia.
Now with the new code and everything, they're actually requiring more complex tumbling, more difficulty. And that's why some performers are actually going to be doing 4 tumbling passes, unlike the normal 3 tumbling passes.
In the old time, how many total moves did they have to have, and how many do they have now with the new code?
You know, actually, there's normally 3 tumbling passes back in the day. And now a lot of competitors are doing 4 tumbling passes, and you also need to add in turns, acro, series, as well as jumps and leaps. Similar to the balance beam somewhat.
Double the amount of things you've got to do than before?
Not necessarily double, but yet the value is actually 1 notch down than it was last year.
That's why you'll see hit routines here, getting scores of 9-1, 9-2, and you think they should be much higher, but that's the result of the more stringent standards now.
Very nice routine.
Tatiana Yarosh from the Ukraine. And Yelena Zamolochikova on the beam, 8-5, 1-2.
Kevin White.
And here's young Caitlin White from America. Oh.
A little off on that round-off, back layout, somersault. Difficult move to perform on the balance beam.
See if she can regroup here. She had a 9-1-5-6 on the vault. Then difficulty on the Yavim bars, 7-7-7-5.
Her teammate, Carly Patterson, is currently in second after 2 rotations.
Here's the required balance move. You know, even though she's having a rough competition, she's going to learn a lot. Wonderful international experience, something she'll never forget, but she'll know when she goes back into the gym to work extra hard on those certain moves that she had difficulty on. Nice gym acro combination there.
Really like these young gymnasts from the World and Olympic Gymnastics Academy down there in the Dallas area. They have a terrific program, and I think the future of U.S. gymnastics, many of the best will come from this program.
Definitely true.
Evgeny Marchenko coaching there, former Olympic gold medalist Valerie Liukin. Natasha Boyarskaya.
Nice 2.5 twister.
Tatiana Yarosh from the Ukraine, 8-7, 6-2 on the floor exercise. And from Uzbekistan, Oksana Chusovitina. She tied for the gold on the floor at the 1991 World Championships.
We're talking 10 years ago. She was the world champion.
I just shake my head when I see that.
It just doesn't happen in women's gymnastics when a career lasts a year and a half.
You think she'll go to 2004 in Athens?
You know, you never can tell. That was beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I think her second somersault was higher than her first.
There's another good one coming up here. Full out.
Oh!
You know, I wouldn't put Athens past her at all. You know, she could definitely hold him 3 more years.
She'll almost be 30 when that rolls around. I mean, it's going to be very interesting, isn't it?
Yes, it will be. You know, actually, she says she likes to talk to young girls and tell them, you don't have to retire at the age of 16 or 17. Look at me. Look how great I look at 26. And if she can do it, they can do it.
Did she talk to you? We want to see you get out of retirement, Tom.
Yeah, we want to see another one of those Dawes moves.
Yes.
No comment on that.
We could break a story here tonight.
How about you, Barb?
No. I'm outlawed. Anybody over 40. She was asked what her young son, Alisher, wants her to bring home from Australia. She said, he just wants his mama to come back.
Oh.
Beautiful routine.
She's had a very nice routine. Oksana Chusovitina from Uzbekistan.
What a treat.
Terrific.
She has to be pleased with that performance. Beautiful landing, powerful tumbling. And this is her last tumbling pass coming up. And this is at 1:30 or so when you're tired and it still looks that nice. Beautiful landing.
Caitlin White of the U.S. on the beam, 7-7-3-7. It's our final night of gymnastics at the Goodwill Games in downtown Brisbane. We'll be back after this.
her out tomorrow.
Ernie Johnson back at you.
We're back at gymnastics in downtown Brisbane. Chusovitina from Uzbekistan on the floor, 8-8-2-5. And now here is Sabina Kojakar from Romania, and she needs an 8-7-5-8 Barcana to move into the lead.
That's a score she can certainly easily get. She is great on this event.
Yes, she is. Watching her in practice, very consistent. Great bonus skills. And here she sets up for her acro combination right now.
Tied for first on the beam at the 2000 European Junior Championship.
Nice back full somersault. Beautifully done.
From 2 back handsprings, very difficult. The Romanian's known to be quite consistent on the balance beam. Big opportunity for this young lady with Zamolodchikova having trouble and Horkina having trouble.
The door's open.
Remember, Romanian Dragulescu won yesterday under the same type of conditions. He was just consistent.
And consistency is definitely the key in the sport. And what would it be if both Romanians took home the gold, both all-around competitions? Into a triple full dismount, high degree of difficulty.
Kojakar from Romania, of course, in the long line of outstanding gymnasts. Nadia.
Hey, she was pretty good on the beam.
Yes, she was.
Mrs. Barcana.
All right. Yeah.
Your face lights up every time you're on. I have enjoyed watching you two around Brisbane this week.
It has been fun, my friend. Boy, that's going to get a good score. She is really a pretty collected young lady.
And here's Chi Lin-zi from China. Her Chinese teammate is injured and being attended to on the sideline. We'll develop that story in just a second for you.
Beautiful triple turn. You know, Chinese women aren't known to be strong tumblers. That was a really nice triple full, and her teammate before her and a nice floor exercise routine.
Chi Lin-zi was 8th in the floor final earlier in the games here this week. 16-year-old from Beijing, China. Out of bounds, there's a red flag, a penalty.
So many athletes have gone out of bounds all week long here. One of the U.S. coaches said, I think the mat is too small, so they went out and measured it, and it is correct. It's 12 meters by 12 meters. I said, I don't expect that the mat would be too small, but of course, last year we were here at the Olympics, and the vaulting horse was set at the wrong height by accident. So.
Oh,
no kidding.
What a horrible error.
The Australians say they double measure everything now.
Very simple double full dismount. Nice clean routine.
Yep. By Chi Lin-zi of China. Moments before, on this floor exercise routine, her teammate Yang Yun from China, who had that left knee wrapped, came hobbling off, and here's what happened.
She didn't get a very powerful takeoff. She was running out of juice. Shorter rotation. And she, of course, had strained that knee earlier in the week, and that didn't help things.
No, sometimes when things are injured, you'll try to compensate for it, and that's probably what she did.
And Sabina Kojakar goes to #1 with that 9.462 on the beam. We have a new leader. Now from the United States, Carly Patterson.
This is the routine that Carly had trouble on in the individual event finals. It was on this combination coming up right now. Questionable combination bonus, but she stayed on the beam.
She was second on the beam at last year's U.S. Junior Championships.
Nice back full somersault for a little 13-year-old. It's beautiful.
Talking to her coach this morning, he said she's the kind of athlete that likes to go for all the hard skills. He says sometimes when they ask her to do easier routines, she's not quite as focused and alert. She really likes to be challenged with the difficulty.
This is a great routine for her so far.
After the Goodwill Games, she'll travel directly to China for another competition.
Imagine that at just 13 all over the world.
World traveler.
She seems pretty settled here on the beam. Comfortable. No nervous energy.
You know, that's what when I first saw her, that's what I noticed. She has such a calm demeanor on the bouncing, which is so not the case, especially when you're 13.
And she'd be so cool, and we're scared to death up here.
Speak for yourself.
I'm shaking. Look out for this dismount, one of the most difficult performing in this competition.
Yeah! Way to go!
That was fantastic.
As Tia Orlando
That was beautiful.
looks around.
All right. Natasha Boyskaya, one of her coaches. That's the way to go.
Yeah. And here's that difficult dismount right here. Round off, back handspring, double Arabian somersault. And look at that landing. No movement, no deduction whatsoever.
Oh, is that fun? Now she's showing she's 13. Carly Patterson, we've not gotten her score yet. She does need the 9.631 for the lead.
I love seeing such happy faces. They're really having a good time down here.
And for Qilin Zi, China on the floor, 8.6, 8.7, currently number 4. Alana Slater from Australia.
She was having trouble on that tumbling pass in the touch warm-up.
In the 2000 World Cup final, she was 6th on the floor exercise.
Nice jump turn combination there.
She planned that.
All right, well, good.
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad she did.
That was a beautiful routine for Alana.
They love her in Australia. Alana Slater, born and raised in Perth. Carly. It's the final night of gymnastics from downtown Brisbane at the 2001 Goodwill Games. Now we are in the 4th rotation, the last leg, and it promises to be a thrilling finish. Elena Tatiana Slater had an 8-7 on the floor as we went to break. But look at who's in second place through 3 rotations. 13-year-old Carly Patterson from America.
Yeah, she's about 6.5 tenths ahead of reigning Olympic gold medalist Elena as well as Svetlana. So, you know, this is definitely a great competition so far for her, but it'll be great to end up on the floor exercise with a hit performance.
Let's talk about some of the strategies. You take a look at Yoon Young, who's out because of that bad left knee. And she is also working on both heels as well.
It's smart.
But back to Carly Patterson, who is now our main story. Does she go into this floor exercise right now among the medals in a more conservative way? Does she alter her approach? What is her strategy?
You know, my advice really would be don't look at the scoreboard at all and just do the routine that you've been training to do. You know, she's been looking really good, very consistent. Just don't let the pressure, don't let the crowd's hype or anything, you know, affect what you know you can do.
Maybe that's what she's being told right there.
Don't try too hard, but make sure you just go in cool, calm, and collected.
And how is she on the floor, Dominique?
You know, she's been looking really good on the floor. Very powerful tumbler for such a small little kid.
Dominique Dawes, 3-time Olympian and gold medalist, and Bart Connor, Olympic gold medalist, Kevin Harlan. It would have been somewhat of a surprising night to see this young American competing with the world's elite and find herself with 1 leg left, 1 rotation remaining, number 2, and right now in the silver slot.
Who would have thought that Zamolodchikova and Horkina would be in 3rd and 4th position right now? About 7/10 of a point behind Patterson.
Svetlana Horkina taking her final practice on the vault.
Oh, she made one.
So that's a confidence builder as she gets ready to go. As you take a look at Caitlin White, Carly Patterson. I mentioned before that she's here, of course, in Brisbane, goes next week to China. She is homeschooled, so she has a little bit more flexibility in her schedule, which is nice when things like this, of course, are occurring. She currently lives in Allen, Texas, born in Baton Rouge. Her dad is a district sales manager. Her mother is a registered nurse. And she's kind of like every other 13-year-old you might meet, except that she right now is in the spotlight on the world stage.
She trains 7 hours a day down there in Allen, Texas. They have a very intense program.
On the vault, Tatiana Yarosh from the Ukraine.
This is the round-off entry vault. Very nicely performed.
The men had just 1 vault. Tonight, the women have 2. Why is that? Why the difference?
I have no idea.
Finally, I have asked a question that neither of you know.
That's why I pointed to Bart.
Oh. I'll tell you why.
Maybe just do a 6 event versus
No, that was mine. That was my note. Gosh, I thought maybe I could slip one by.
We're too quick for you.
One more vault for Tatiana. By the way, Carly Patterson will be number 5 among the 6 competitors on the floor. So she's going to have a time to wait here and watch.
Yes, she is.
And that's going to be interesting to see how she deals with that.
A lot of times, actually, you don't watch your competitors at all. You just try to, you know, imagine what your sets are going to feel like, what they're going to look like, and stay in your own world.
You told me the other night that you don't think these guys watch the scoreboard. But how can't you watch, especially going into the 4th rotation?
How can't you?
Yeah, how can't you not look at it? I mean, I'd always be looking at the scoreboard.
Well, I mean, some athletes really need to just to see where they are in placement and what score they need to move up, but some don't like to see it at all.
Pretty good vaulting.
Very nice vault. That was a 1.5, which we've seen perform a great deal tonight in competition, but that was in a tuck position instead of the usual layout position.
She was hoping to keep her body straight. That would have been a 9.7 start value for that vault. Little deduction for the bent knees.
Our first competitor on the floor in this rotation represents Russia. Welcome, please.
To the floor from Russia, Yelena Zamolodchikova.
Now, this is a hot routine. She won this at the Olympics, as well as the other day at the Goodwill Games.
And before that, she was quarreling with her coach. Remember that on Tuesday? She was having some disagreements with her coach.
Watch this mount.
Oh, beautiful. Double, double.
With triple full. Uh-oh. Out of bounds, 110. As powerful as she is, it's amazing she only stepped out of bounds. You'd think she'd end up in the 3rd row. This woman can fly.
You can just tell she's an athlete, can't you?
Yeah, you really can.
Some don't come across that way, but this gal, you can certainly see it.
And that's what's special about the sport. We have the, more petite, stocky ones, but then we also can have the lengthy, tall, skinny, elegant ones as well. Beautiful full-in landing.
Very nice. Yelena Zamolodchikova of Russia.
She would be well into the lead had she not had that trouble on the balance beam. At a 9.5 in the vault, 9.075 in the bars, and a low score on beam.
Look at this technique right here. Shoots straight up in the air, full twist, another full twist with 2 somersaults.
It's a lot of torque.
A lot of torque.
Tatiana Yorosh from the Ukraine. 8.837 on the vault. From Uzbekistan, Oksana Chusovitina won the vault at the 1990 Goodwill Games.
Remember, this vaulting table is completely new for her.
In fact, she has been training on the new vault table here for the first time. They still use the old vaulting horse in Uzbekistan.
They have such a small budget for their gymnastics program there. Her coach says she spends half the day coaching and the other half of the day pleading with the officials to give them a little more money so they can buy some more mats or a new beam. They have not yet saved up enough to get one of these vaulting tables.
And it's a few $1,000s for that little bad boy, so
Is it?
they save up a lot.
If they had a football team, they could double as a blocking dummy, too. I mean, look at that thing. It's got such a... I mean, when they say table, it is. It looks like a table, doesn't it? And one more for the 26-year-old. Her first vault, 9.212. And she was second in the vault earlier this week here at the Goodwill Games.
Look at the size of that surface area.
Yes.
On the vaulting table. Just a terrific improvement.
Safer.
Old vaulting horse.
They've got to be much more comfortable.
A lot safer. Before there was about 12 inches or so to put your hands in. Right there, it looks like it's almost 3 feet.
Oh, beautiful.
That was a front entry vault, tight half turn, and it was performed beautifully. Great landing.
She is just so inspiring. Very popular with the other athletes here. They admire her for her ability at 26 years old.
Nice heel drive, nice block off the horse. Look at that. Beautiful.
Respected journalist John Crumlish, who writes for International Gymnast magazines, thinks she's performing arguably the best gymnastics of her career. On the floor, 9.225. Currently number 1. She is finished for the night. Caitlin White of the United States, 14-year-old Texan.
Not having her best day. 11 of 12 competitors in the all-around finals today. Good start on the vault, but rough performances on the bars and the beam.
Up, stepped out. That'll be a reduction. So the men last night had trouble staying in bounds, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. A lot of falls, a lot of guys rolling out of bounds. We're having not as many falls as the guys had, but a lot of girls are landing out of bounds, which is definitely a tense deduction. This is a very mature routine for such a young girl. Good to see.
Put together by Tatiana Stragolgova.
Beautiful 2.5 twist to a front tuck somersault. Great combination right there.
Required element, a tumbling pass with 2 different types of saltos in it. Oh, she's focused on this last run. Oh, my goodness.
Ran out of a little bit of gas to end that routine there.
Pretty clever on how she tried to cover.
The anticipation is mounting for young Carly Patterson of the United States in her floor exercise. Number 2 after 3 rotations. She is becoming the story on the final nights of gymnastics at the Goodwill Games. Gymnastics continues, and the second vault now coming up for Alana Slater from Australia.
First vault score was 8.475 in the all-around finals. They do 2 different vaults. Scores are averaged.
Yurchenko with the full twist looks very, very close to the vault. Barely clipped her toes and, was a little dangerous there.
After 3 rotations, she was in 6th place in the all-around.
Caitlin White from the United States on the floor, a 5.50. And after 3 rotations, our leader was Romanian Sabina Kojakar. And right in back of her, Carly Patterson, who will be on the floor in a matter of moments.
Those 2 are separated by 68 1/1000ths of a point. So it comes down to these floor routines right here.
Last night, we saw in the men's floor exercise, Wong Shu have the lead. This was his final rotation, his final event, and he blew it.
Yeah, he did. But right now, Sabina's performing a beautiful routine, nice dance, great tumbling. She's actually feeling really good out there. And floor exercise actually is a great event to end on because it's a great chance to get the crowd involved, to let out your personality and really entertain the people that are watching you.
Set of circumstances. Remember, Andrea Raducanu was scheduled to compete. So Romania, she hurt her knee. The Romanians decided they were going to bring no athletes. And at the last minute, Octavian Bello said, okay, I'll bring Kojakar and Ulmeanu. And now the young lady that he brought at the last minute might win this whole thing.
She's 15, and who would have thought Carly Patterson would be in the position she's in, and she's 13 years old.
And remember, unfortunately, Omianu had to pull out from the all-around after breaking or chipping her thumb from the vault.
Crucial landing on this one.
Oh, God. Very nice.
She's got it.
Very nice. Sabina Kojakar of Romania.
She has to be very pleased with that performance. Great clean landings. Wonderful in her dance combinations. High degree of difficulty.
Only needs an 8.521 to go into the lead. She'll easily get that.
Very clean.
That's a whip to a triple full. Great combination there.
She had never
nice
competed, Dominique, on this surface until this week.
You know, and that's a great adjustment that she's made then. You know, she's only had about a week to get adjusted to the floor exercise mat, and she had beautiful landings on every single one of her tumbling passes.
Alana Slater, total of 8.581 on her vaulting, number 4 overall. And now Svetlana Horkina from Russia, her first vault.
A 9.8 start value.
That was a great vault for her. Round-off entry with a half on into the horse, into a Rudy, which is a 1.5 front twist in a tough position, and she landed beautifully.
She is in 4th place after 3 rotations.
About 7/10 of a point behind our leaders coming into this rotation.
Here's the half turn on. Nice block. And that's a 5'5" frame performing that vault.
Good point. Very good point. The tallest gymnast among the week here in Brisbane.
Half on, 1.5 off. She planted that on her knees the other day in the individual event final. Beautiful there today.
She needs... Well, she had the 9.662, so right now she is on track to make some headway.
Her previous vault was actually a 9.9 start value, which is very important to get those high start values so you can get a higher score.
A veteran like this, she knows exactly what's ahead of her.
This one's a 9.7 start value.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
She's loving it.
She knows it.
She says she wants to be an actress, and she's acting non-stop.
She knows drama.
Yes, she does.
So she has to be happy after that vault. That was a wonderful round-off entry, 1.5 layout twist vault. Nice arms by her ears. Nice reach into the horse. Toes up on the layout. Beautiful form. Nice landing.
Nervously waiting. As you take a look at Kocha. On the floor, 9.062.
Wow, they gave that a 9.6 start value. 9.062, a little lower than I thought it would be.
Carly needs a 9.131 to win. A 9.131 to win.
Wow. What a moment for this young lady.
You know, there's many times in my career that I've had opportunities to medal in Olympic competitions or world competitions, and you make a mistake like that, and you really do have to just put it behind you and resume on.
Remember, how coaches said she likes to go for the hard stuff. allow her to go for a challenging routine. Not play it safe. I admire that about them.
Beautiful tight double back for her ending. But she's 13 years old. This is many years to go.
What a heartbreak. She does a double layout for her first tumbling pass, and she's so powerful.
They were trying to get the ball as many times as they could.
This is a double layout, and she kind of lays it back.
And she was performing this so well in training and workouts and touch. And just a little quick off the floor, and that takes away any height that you're going to make.
Evgeny Marchenko, the head coach.
Horkina on the vault, 9.568.
This young lady has a lot of great moments ahead of her. At 13, she had a chance here to stun the gymnastic world. Almost got it. She'll be back.
7.125. And that drops her to number 7. She came into this rotation number 2. Danielle Kelly from Australia.
This is another event that Danielle won in the 2001 Junior Australian Championships. Beautiful triple twister right there. A lot in this competition. She's had a rough competition, but she's finished up really strong on the floor.
Crowd loves it. The official numbers still being plowed through, but Sabina Kojakar from Romania, right now number 1 and eyeing gold on the final night of gymnastics at the women's all-around.
The 2001 Goodwill Games on TNT are brought to you by Jeep, makers of Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, and the all-new Jeep Liberty. By Dasani Water, treat yourself well every day. And by Preparation H Cooling Gel. It cools on contact for fast relief. Preparation H Cooling Gel.
I don't think my mic's on.
Hey, Nadia Comaneci there with congratulations to Sabina Kojakar. Mama Nadia. She's proud.
The Romanian legend, and maybe a legend in the making. A hug she'll remember for the rest of her life. She wins gold. Sabina Kojakar from Romania And by virtue of her outstanding vaulting tonight, Svetlana Horkina of Russia finishes number 2, and Zamolochikova of Russia number 3. Carly Patterson falls to number 7, but came into the 3rd rotation and then out of it, number 2. An outstanding performance for the 13-year-old from Louisiana. We send it downstairs to Dee Wyman.
Carly, your night was going so well. You were in 2nd place heading into floor exercise. Did you know that's where you were at the time?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
You did. And then were you nervous? Tell me how you were feeling when you took to the floor.
I was feeling fine. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Good learning experience, though, to be a part of with such world-class athletes?
Yeah, I'll definitely learn from this experience.
We'll look forward to seeing you in future competitions, Carly. Kevin?
Thank you, Dee. Disappointing, but I think, Bart, you said it so well. She has so much greatness ahead of her.
Just an enormous amount of potential, and I'm sure she'll be putting this past her, and great things to come for that young lady, Carly Patterson.
Definitely an experience she'll learn from.
This has been an outstanding week of gymnastics in Brisbane. So many thrills, so much outstanding individual triumph. The men finished up last night, and the women dazzled us with their acrobatics tonight. For Dominique Dawes and Bart Conner, I'm Kevin Harlan. So long.